Okay, so in this topic, we're going to look at what happens if you can't make the bases match, right? There's no way to turn 5 into 18, so it's going to end up a little bit messier. And specifically in this one, they ask for exact answers, which means something like, say, log or natural log of some number. We don't want to put it in our calculator and get a decimal. We're going to leave the logs in it all the way through in the final answer. All right, so first thing we want to do is how can we free x's out of exponents? Well, we could take the log or the natural log of both sides. I'll show you at the end. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I'm just going to do natural log because there's one less letter to write. It's ln instead of log. So dealer's choice on that one. Then we can use that property that the exponents come down as multiplication. So then we have negative 4x times natural log of 5 equals x plus 5 times the natural log of 18. And then all throughout, you can do one or the other, but it might not be a bad idea to point out to yourself things that are constants, right? So natural log of 5 is still just a number, it's some decimal. So you can point out to yourself maybe where your x's are, just to kind of keep the pieces straight here. All right, so this one is a term with an x in it, right? So sometimes it can help to like negative 4 times the natural log of 5 times x. This whole thing is like a front coefficient. So it's same as if it was negative 4x, it just looks messier, right? And then this one, I want to distribute natural log of 18 into it. So natural log of 18 times x plus 5 times the natural log of 18. And so then I want to get all my x terms on the same side as each other, because if I'm trying to solve for x or get it alone, I'm probably going to have to factor out an x at some point. I have it in two separate terms. So I'm going to subtract the natural log of 18 to the other side. So negative 4 natural log of 5 x minus natural log of 18 x. So kind of like 3x minus 5x, just looks messier. And I left my constant part over here, my 5 times the natural log of 18. And so now notice both of these terms have an x in them. So if I want to, I could factor the x out in the front or the back, wherever you have room for it. So if I put parentheses, it's x times this whole thing. So that matches up. So they both had an x in it. Now I factored the x outside the parentheses. And so then very last thing I can do, no matter what's multiplied by x, to get rid of it, you want to divide both sides by that exact same thing. So I want to divide both sides by negative 4 natural log of 5 minus natural log of 18. Negative 4 natural log of 5 minus natural log of 18. And so these two cancel out. And so x equals 5 times natural log of 18 over negative 4 natural log of 5 minus natural log of 18. Because they asked for exact answers, that means you want to type literally this exact thing into ALEX. If you could put it in your calculator, you'd see there's some number version of this. They just don't want decimals. Kind of like when you leave the square root and things. Also at the beginning, I remember I said it doesn't matter if you use natural log or log. If you use log instead, you'd have the exact same answer. Except with log base 10 instead of natural log. So whichever one you pick, both of these are totally fine. Just be careful about your distributing, and it does feel weird to solve with, it starts to look tedious, but it's the same thing as, right, this is a constant, all of these are constant terms. At the end, you can even put it in your calculator and get a decimal and use that decimal to check and make sure that it worked. So in case you made some little sign error, you could weed that out. It doesn't matter what order you put these two terms in, so either one of these is totally fine.